The old Riverdale High School had stood vacant on the edge of town for over 50 years, ever since a mysterious fire gutted the entire building back in 1972. Rumours swirled about the origin of the blaze, with hushed whispers of a troubled student enacting a grim revenge against bullying classmates. But the official cause remained undetermined, and the case quickly faded from public consciousness. The building itself, however, endured as a grim monument to the tragedy. Its blackened timbers and crumbling brick walls loomed ominously behind a high barbed wire fence at the end of School Street. Ivy and overgrown vines claimed the grounds that once hosted football games and pep rallies. The school's corroded bronze bell sat lopsided in the collapsed clock tower, forever frozen at 3:14 a.m., the very minute that fire was first spotted. Generations of neighbourhood children grew up swapping chilling tales that the old school was haunted. Some claimed to spy glowing eyes peering from broken windows as they biked past on moonlit nights. Others told of ghostly screams echoing from the decrepit ruins. The alleged supernatural happenings earned the site a reputation as the creepiest place in town. Most sensible folks dismissed the stories as juvenile fiction to spook gullible friends. But when 3 teenagers decided to sneak onto the property and go ghost hunting, imaginary haunts bled terrifyingly into reality. 17-year-old Cody Mason was obsessed with documenting paranormal phenomena. He uploaded videos to a YouTube channel called Unknown Darkness, eagerly convincing his skeptical parents it could someday fund his college education. His thrill-seeking antics both alarmed and annoyed certain student council members at school who felt the channel promoted dangerous trespassing. But Cody paid their criticisms no mind. When his fellow senior Lucy Carter proposed a haunted adventure to investigate Riverdale High, Cody could hardly contain his excitement. He quickly agreed to the scheme, hoping potential spirit contact would drive viewership on his website. Lucy, in turn, recruited her boyfriend, Nate Davies, Riverdale High's handsome quarterback, knowing his strength would prove useful should they get in a tight spot on their ghostly underground mission. The teens made plans to meet late Saturday night, timing their incursion to minimize chances of getting caught. Cody meticulously prepped his video equipment, carefully selecting specialized night vision and thermal imaging cameras to detect the slightest supernatural anomaly. At home, Lucy tried to calm her nerves by triple-checking her backpack provisions of flashlights, snacks, and extra batteries, while Nate snuck out his bedroom window right on schedule at midnight. Lifting the rusty chain-link fence, the group stealthily crept onto the eerie campus. Even the full harvest moon did little to illuminate the ominous ruins blanketed beneath tangled vines and encroaching kudzu. Shadows oozed from fractured doorways and sagging rooflines like spectral sentries. As the teens' shoes crackled across gritty broken glass strewn about the debris-littered corridors, each snapping twig or rustling critter jolted their nerves. "Spooky as hell, ain't it?" Nate nervously muttered as Lucy clung to his brawny frame for security. "You scared, quarterback?" Cody teased while sweeping his camcorder across the crumbling plaster walls, which displayed mysterious murals of 5-pointed stars, pentagrams, and other strange symbols stained by water damage and mold. "No way, dude," Nate scoffed. "This place is badass. Where should we explore first?" "I want to check out the old science labs and see if any ghostly activity remains from the fire," Lucy offered, fighting to steady her shaky voice. The deeper they delved into the burnt-out halls, the heavier the atmosphere felt as pungent notes of charcoal and mildew permeated the darkness. Their sneakers sifted through piles of rubble until a ray of moonlight illuminated the battered entrance to the former science department. "We're here," Cody proclaimed, stepping into the debris-strewn space once dedicated to high school education. "If there are any spirits, come forth and communicate." Only muted silence answered his prompt. Undaunted, Cody filmed the spectacular ruin, while Lucy shined her flashlight across surfaces clouded by years of dust and dead leaves. Collapsed cabinets full of broken beakers and petri dishes littered the floor. Scorched posters still clung to what little remained of the walls, Faded photographs of famous scientists, now mere shadows, watching with hollow eyes as the teens explored the lab's decrepit remains. Anything paranormal here would probably be more messed up than Casper the Friendly Ghost. Nate chuckled uneasily. This whole place still smells toxic. That's when Lucy gasped and aimed her flashlight toward the far corner. There, a strange figure crouched, silhouetted amidst the rubble. Cody leapt in surprise, struggling to center his camcorder on the shapeless form barely illuminated in the darkness. "Hello there," Lucy called out brightly, as if greeting a stranger in a grocery store line and not an unidentified prowler inside an abandoned high school. "What brings you here?" The hunched intruder remained still, saying nothing. "We come in peace, good sir," Cody joked, slowly moving closer to inspect the mysterious squatter. "Who are you?" A low groan echoed from the shadows as the shape rose to stand erect, nearly 7 feet tall. 2 red embers glowed from its obscured features. Lucy gasped as Nate instinctively shielded her behind his broad frame. Cody's eyes widened with sudden dread. We should go," he stammered, adrenaline coursing as primal intuition screamed danger in his pounding heart. The ominous figure inched closer, heavy boots thudding across rubble and broken glass, until dim rays of moonlight revealed the interloper's hideous form in full nightmare detail. Scorched flesh hung limp from exposed bones, and gangrenous limbs burned to gruesome deformity. Glistening sinew wrapped tightly around bleached femurs, charred black by fire. Milky eyes stared blindly from behind drooping melted eyelids framed under scorched patches of hair melted to its cracked scalp. A tattered janitor's uniform hung loosely across its ravaged skeleton. The horrid monster lumbered toward them with gnarled hands extended as if to rip the stunned teens to shreds. "Run!" Cody screeched in sheer terror, bolting through deserted corridors with Lucy and Nate scrambling madly behind him. Monstrous footsteps pounded close on their heels, while savage growls echoed all around. The petrified group forced their aching legs faster through the inky darkness. They hurdled fallen ceiling beams while dodging left, then right, through the gloomy maze of destruction. "In here!" Lucy cried, pulling Nate into what appeared to be an old art classroom. Rotting easels and paint-spattered tables littered the space. The 3 huddled together behind a faded chalkboard, struggling to muffle their panicked breathing as the infernal stomping rushed past their hiding spot. Several agonizing minutes slowly ticked by until the sounds gradually faded into unnerving silence. "Holy shit, dudes!" Nate shuddered. "I friggin' peed my pants a little." "What the hell was that thing?" Lucy wheezed, white knuckles still clutching Nate's varsity jacket with terrified intensity. "I swear it looked like some zombie freak monster from the actual fire," Cody exclaimed. "My camera got a right-up-close shot before we bolted. Can you believe our luck? Wait till my YouTube fans get a look at—" "Luck!" Lucy spat in disbelief. "That awful creature almost killed us. I swear I've never been more scared in my entire life." "But don't you get it? This is exactly the hardcore paranormal evidence I need to take my website to the next level," Cody raved. "Bigger views means I can finally start making real money on sponsors and advertisements. TF, we could just get one more shot." "Dude, screw your website," Nate scolded. "I'm all for adventure, but death wishes ain't my thing. We need to bounce quick before that hellish freak sniffs us out." Wait. Okay, just give me 5 minutes," Cody pleaded. "I left a stationary camcorder on a tripod near the entrance to record the whole investigation. The ghost attack and us running for our lives has got to be some killer footage. I just need to grab—" "My mom will slaughter me if we don't haul ass home now," Lucy demanded. "You guys go ahead if you want. Just stall for me at the fence and I'll sprint right back," Cody insisted. "This is my chance to turn pro, please." Despite their terrorized objections, Cody refused to exit without precious footage key to launching his lucrative YouTube empire. He negotiated a hasty plan, vowing to race across campus and meet them at the rear perimeter within— "You sure about this, bro?" Nate asked with immense concern as Cody prepped his dash. "Absolutely. We're talking potential millions of hits." Cody nodded, steadying his nerves with excited determination. "See you suckers on the flip side." And with that, Cody stormed off alone into the haunted corridors. Dashing past the old charred classrooms and mildewed hallways, Cody felt charged with exhilarating purpose. Fortune itself seemed to shine favourably upon him in the form of paranormal opportunity. Screw just gaining some measly college scholarship. Those disturbing images of burning flesh scored on his camcorder could now fund his damn dream house. Skirting sporadic rubble and dangling cables, Cody moved briskly toward the target equipment. He could see the makeshift tripod just up ahead, resting near a collapsed awning at what used to be the building's front entrance. Gripping his camcorder in eager anticipation, Cody momentarily wondered if Nate and Lucy escaped safely, or if that dreadful fiend stalked them through alternate routes. No matter, he decided with selfish gain. Their joint escape strategy allowed ample time to retrieve the precious footage. Within moments, the glorious film would be his, and shortly thereafter so too would the lucrative fruits of viral internet fame he constantly craved. Mental currency signs danced happily in his imagination. Reaching the toppled awning at last, Cody knelt triumphantly before the device. Still recording. He quickly ejected the memory card, then inserted a fresh stick to capture more spooky vignettes on the return trip. Securing his prized electronic parcel, Cody switched on the replacement camcorder, feeling wholly invincible. "All right, you cursed, abandoned hellhole. Gimme all you got this time," he challenged with impudent bravado, panning chaotic shots across the dark debris and crumbling architecture. A jagged section of broken lathboard creaked noisily just then behind his position. He tipped around, half expecting to discover Nate or Lucy playfully sneaking up to sabotage his coveted footage as revenge for abandoning them. Instead, two smouldering eyes flickered open from the rubble just 5 feet behind him. A decimated arm thrust violently from the shadows as the horrifying creature rose rapidly from its hiding place. "No! No!" Cody wailed in abject horror, stumbling backwards while struggling to position his jittery camcorder at the ghoulish nightmare now lurching toward him. Hideous grunts echoed from the monster's charred jaws as it reached out a gnarled hand and grabbed Cody fiercely by the neck. Gagging violently, Cody felt himself hoisted high in the air by the beast's iron grip in effort to choke the very life from his lungs. Thrashing wildly to break free, the camera tumbled from his numb fingers toward the checkerboard tiles below. Just before losing consciousness, Cody glimpsed the infernal creature's melted face split wide across exposed teeth. Blackened tongue lashing, it reared back its skull to release a triumphant unearthly roar that surely heralded the hapless teen's gruesome demise. "He should have been here 2 minutes ago," Nate huffed. "I knew splitting up was stupid. We gotta bounce back." "Oh God, you don't think that awful thing got him, do you?" Lucy fretted. "Cody," Nate stage whispered into the darkness. "Code man, where you at?" "If we leave without him, I'll never forgive myself," Lucy insisted. "He was scared, but just got carried away." "Exactly why we gotta haul ass," said Nate. "Fool gets himself waxed trying to please imaginary internet peeps. That's natural selection, babe." "Please don't say that. He's still our friend. We should—" Lucy froze. Both teens jumped as a strange shuffling sound became audible from the blackness. Nate pulled Lucy against his chest as he stood poised for flight or fight. Squinting toward the noise, he discerned a hazy figure lurching unsteadily from the haunted ruins. "Cody!" Lucy whispered excitedly. "There he is!" But as the shape moved closer, an awful sensation clenched the pit of Nate's stomach. Even in the thick darkness, subtly misshapen proportions cloaked in shadows raised alarming intuition. Without hesitation, Nate scooped Lucy onto his back and scaled the fence in seconds. The two crashed recklessly through the thicket woods abutting the campus, never once glancing backward until Riverdale High's ruined structures disappeared completely from sight. At dawn, 3 days later, a cadaver dog discovered Cody Mason's mutilated remains half buried in the rubble of a flooded basement room. Authorities noted unusual burn-type lacerations inflicted upon the corpse. Officials ultimately deemed the death accidental, blaming reckless exploration of hazardous ruins. The lurid story attracted its share of local press and internet speculation, but despite extensive interviews with students, no credible witnesses ever came forward. In fact, Nate Davies and Lucy Carter seemed to disappear from Riverdale High altogether shortly thereafter. Rumours claimed they voluntarily withdrew to attend schools in different districts. Police collected Cody's discarded footage as possible evidence, but extensive forensic testing could not conclusively identify the perpetrator of blunt attacks evident on his body, and none of Cody's videos contained the slightest hint of foul play. In fact, after reviewing hours of footage, investigators deemed the majority of his recordings rather unremarkable. Only a single clip revealed anything out of the ordinary. The nighttime vignette displayed Cody's grinning face illuminated by flashlight as he narrated to viewers, but over his shoulder loomed a dark classroom 312. Scrawled upon that door, a chillingly poetic warning no one in 1972 heeded in time. "This door shall seal ye tomb, as inferno swiftly comes abide below as ghastly host, until these walls return ye ghost." Upon further investigation, authorities identified Classroom 312 as an old chemistry lab completely destroyed in the catastrophic fire. Against the far interior wall, search teams located a heavy industrial kiln rarely used by teachers or students. Inside its massive incinerating oven, investigators discovered a gigantic pile of ancient charred bones. After cross-checking dental records, officials determined the skeletal remains belonged to Martin Kepler, the school's elderly head custodian who perished in the tragic 1972 blaze. The horrific discovery baffled and disturbed seasoned crime scene techs, many who cited the incident as the most disturbing of their careers. Logically, law enforcement could not explain why the custodian's full skeleton lay neatly stacked in an industrial furnace. Several investigators left the profession altogether soon after, some seeking psychiatric treatment to process the bizarre and inexplicable scene. The abandoned Riverdale campus underwent immediate demolition shortly thereafter. Town council members voted unanimously to raze the entire building following community outcries alleging a pattern of unusual deaths linked to the property. Within 1 year's time, a brand new strip mall occupied the formerly haunted land. Behind brightly lit fast food chains and a buzzing grocery store, few locals even realized former Riverdale High School ever occupied the bustling space. Yet longtime residents still whisper chilling tales of that terrible night years ago when 3 naive teenagers ventured into the dark, haunted ruins, drawn by supernatural forces never fully debunked. And upon some autumn eves when fog rolls low across schoolyards and the harvest moon glows bright, folks can almost make out a faint, unearthly scream carried through the misty shadows by an icy midnight wind.